Okay, hello again, and today we're looking at the Dethroner 2.0 pre-workout, and this is this right here, Attack on Titans type looking drawing on the front. It doesn't look that attractive. Like if I saw this in a store with this front, that doesn't really look that great. But I guess if you're taking anime style drawings, then you might as well. But talking about the Dethroner, so this is 2.0. Obviously, there is the 1.0, this Dethroner right here, and it's a pre-workout made by Echovision. So this is just arriving. It's a new pre-workout. This is Dethroner 2.0, but the Dethroner 1.0 was also insanely stacked, as you can see here. 21 grams per serving, which doesn't seem that much, but the amount of ingredients that you can see on the back is this right here is a lot. So obviously, going over the Dethroner 2.0, they made sure to make this pre-workout stacked as well. And for the sake of my sanity and for the sake of the video, I'm gonna be assuming that you're taking 2 scoops of this, which means one serving is 30 grams of pre-workout. And obviously, this formula, I mean, just taking a first look, it's absolutely stacked, and most of the ingredients seem like they're fine as well on the dosing, but we're gonna go over that. Obviously, we're going to also make it on the tier list and see how it stacks up with the rest of the pre-workouts. So, first of all, for the price, I couldn't really find if it's being sold yet. I'm going to suppose that it's not being sold, so I can't really find the price. However, if we look at the pre-workout they had before, the Dethroner 1.0, so that was about 70 bucks per 20 scoops, which is a lot. But looking at the formula, it's also a lot of ingredients. So I'm going to assume that this is mostly targeted towards the people who have the money and just want the best pre-workout that they can get. So if we're trying to find the price point, if it's expensive or not. So yeah, of course it is expensive, and if you want to know, 1 to 10 is expensive, 10 is expensive, and 10 to 20 is not expensive. That's the type of system that I've developed to see if the pre-workout is expensive or not. So if the Dethroner 2.0 is similar to this, then it is going to be expensive. Now, looking at the formula, obviously the first couple of ingredients here, the vitamins as you like to call them, some of them are okay. So obviously sodium, chloride are some that could actually help you from this. So sodium, obviously you've seen the people taking salt before their workout. And this, if you take this pre-workout, you won't have to be taking the salt. Obviously salt does help your retain water, which also increases your performance, your endurance. Literally been proven a ton of times. So sodium does help, and as per the amount here, it's 260 milligrams, which is a good dose. Obviously, at this dose you're gonna feel it, but I suppose you're gonna feel the salt because it's 260 is a lot. But I suppose they could mask the taste with the taste that they have added here. So I'm not quite sure what taste they added here, but artificial flavors, and I'm not quite sure what that is, but yeah, it's some kind of taste. But they're probably gonna come out with like some interesting tastes, because for Dethroner 1.0 they had some interesting tastes like twisted pineapple and peach rings, which like those are very weird tastes. Like the average taste that you're gonna see is like green apple, blue raspberry, lemon, or lemon lime. those are the very basic tastes. Like these, like you gotta be like super specific about your taste, because obviously some people might not like these tastes. So usually pre-workout companies just go with the basic stuff that most people like, and that just performs well enough. But enough of that. So sodium is all right. Chloride can can also help you, and obviously chloride is a part of the pink Himalayan salt here, so they just have to add it anyways. But the rest, the potassium, the magnesium, and the calcium, and vitamin B don't really do that much. Plus, like you can see the vitamin B here. It's as this product right here. Also, yeah, they actually like showed from which products all of these come from. So the only thing that is specifically added in here is the pink Himalayan salt. The rest of these are in different products. Okay, that probably doesn't make sense, but basically the most important part of the top part here is the sodium, which is from pink Himalayan salt. And I don't think they state the pink Himalayan salt. Okay, so they state it here again. But yeah, then moving on to the actual first ingredient, obviously L-citrulline at a very, very fat dose. However, it is not citrulline malate. Uh, I'm trying to look for some added malate, if they added malate separately. There's no added malate. So basically, L-citrulline and L-citrulline malate, those are basically two different ways that you can add to a pre-workout. And it has kind of been found that citrulline malate absorbs better into the bloodstream, meaning you're gonna like get better pumps. However, obviously that needs a bit more research, but for safety reasons, for safety, I would probably better add citrulline malate instead of just L-citrulline. But looking at the L-citrulline, this is a fat dose. Even if you're taking one scoop, this L-citrulline is enough. So, first ingredient does work and is dosed insanely high. So that is very good. Moving on to the next one, Hydro Prime glycerol powder. So 65% glycerol. Glycerol has been found to work. Again, mostly increases if we're looking at the studies, mostly increases your hydration. Again, glycerol induced hyperhydration. And this pretty much can buffer lactic acid and also increase your endurance. So it does work. As per the dose, I would say that they have dosed it all right. Here they say that you should be using 2 grams per kilogram, which is a lot. If you're 70 kilograms, that's 140 grams of glycerol, which is a lot. So I suppose for a pre-workout, I think 4 grams will be okay. But yeah, you can't add like that much. Like you're not about to make the whole pre-workout just glycerol powder. So I think 4 grams, if you're taking the 2 scoops, 4 grams is okay. Moving on to the betaine anhydrous, also a proven ingredient, does work in most studies. It does work. Not too sure how it increases your performance, but it does increase. Like the studies have not fully found how it increases your performance, but it does increase your performance. And they have found that it increases your performance best, which is funny, when it is under 4 grams. So if the betaine is under 4 grams, then it increases your performance. If it's over, then it's like, I think it's like too much or something. but it is best used under 4 grams. So if you're taking the 2 scoops, it is under 4 grams, which means it is good. Moving on to the taurine. Taurine also mostly works. Increased energy production, increased muscle function, strength, power output. So it does work, and mostly it has been proven to work at 1 gram. This is probably a typo. It's supposed to be 750 milligrams. But yeah, it is proven to work at about 1 gram. So usually, you should be taking around 1 gram. So yeah, you can see here. I've written it down. It's good and it works at 50 milligrams or 1 gram. So this is an okay dose and it does work. So next one. Next one is an arginine as a nitrogen. And I've looked extensively at arginine and I wanted to use it myself, but most studies say that it does not work that well. Okay, never mind. I guess I was talking about out of nowhere. I just saw the arginine, and I know that that doesn't really work, but nitrogen actually does work. So, one study here found that they combined basically citrulline, malate, and nitrogen, and they found that it does make your pumps better. However, that could be just citrulline malate working. And another study here found that it significantly improved the ability to perform complex cognition tests. So basically, I suppose it increases your cognition and it increases pumps, which are two very distinct things. And I'm not quite sure if it really does that. However, this study clearly shows that it does increase your cognition, so it's good for that. As per the dose, so I just found that it's around 750 milligrams or 1.5 grams. And yeah, here they have exactly taken that. However, I think this could be just a bit biased because these people create the nitrogen. I'm not quite sure how much exactly you should be taking. We'll say it works, right? But yeah, I suppose it does work. Moving on to the next one, sodium chloride as pink Himalayan sea salt, and that one we have already discussed. Obviously, sea salt does work. You know, all the people on social media not agreeing that pre-workouts work, at least everyone agrees that salt works. So you cannot like argue about this. It does work. Also, a very fat dose here. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what. I suppose yeah, the 700 milligrams break down into 260 milligrams of sodium and 420 milligrams of chloride, which is a lot. Like I would never put 700 milligrams of pink Himalayan salt, but you know what do I know? I think I suppose this is good as well. Like if I was putting sodium into a pre-workout, I would just put in the sodium. Like I wouldn't put it in as pink Himalayan salt. But a few studies obviously showing that pink Himalayan salt is better than just sodium, so you can use that as well. Moving on to the next one, vasodrive. So this one, it works to support arterial elasticity by inhibiting enzymes that lead to constriction of blood vessels. AKA they are pretty much saying that it makes your pumps better. Now, the big problem with this is obviously that this is a very biased because supported by 30 published studies. So drive 75 milligrams twice daily, and they found that there was a reduction in blood pressure. which decrease strokes. Yeah, I would probably say it's a no. No super reliable studies saying that it works. Obviously, there are some biased people saying that it does work, like Panda Subs. Like, okay, they're probably gonna say that it works, but they're the ones selling it, so you know. As we saw, they used 75 milligrams. So, okay, well, this is a lot. So I suppose it could decrease your blood pressure and decrease your strokes. Like, sure, if you want that, I mean, go ahead, I suppose. But I guess I can say that it works at least. Next up is Citrapeak. Better blood flow, better pumps, better nitric oxide, increases physical output. 200 milligrams per day. Also, this study pretty much proves that increases blood circulation, which is even more blood flow. Like, okay, I mean, that is a lot of ingredients just for blood flow. Like you're gonna get a pump from this. I can tell you that much. Um, I suppose it does work. This right here. Then Synactive. For Synactive, I've done this in the past, and I found that it was good. Like they said that it's good for endurance. So if you're doing like cycling or running for a long time, then it's good. But not too much studies like supporting that it does work. So that one I wouldn't risk right now. If there were more reliable sources saying that it works, then maybe I would consider that. Moving on to the next one, estrogen, and it increases absorption of arginine, beta alanine, citrulline, creatine, and other peptides. It increases a lot of absorption, increases ATP production, and reduces intestinal inflammation. So your pretty much your stomach doesn't upset as much. Um, and obviously they do also show all the studies, but I think this one the most that it is used for is the ATP production. Like most people who use this, they just use it for the increased ATP production, because that's obviously how you're gonna have the energy to push more and push harder, and that means like you're gonna have to take you can take less rest and have the same amount of ATP, because obviously when you work out and you push hard, you absolutely destroy your ATP, then you rest and your ATP slowly goes back up. This just pretty much means your ATP goes back up faster. So that one does work. S7, and this one I'm never. That's a weird one. Green coffee bean extract, green tea extract. Oh, green tea extract. Yeah, okay. It's been found that it does work, and obviously a lot of pre-workouts have already used this in the past. So here you can see they used the green coffee bean extract, green tea extract, and beetroot extract. And but it was mostly for body composition, which I know it was also after 12 weeks, and it was a lot. So here you can see about 500 milligrams. So here it is, quite underdosed. And also they obviously used it for for weight loss, but like you usually don't use a pre-workout for weight loss, so I would probably say this one, it's very underdosed for them, and I would probably not risk it. The Pega Pump, I'm not quite sure what the hell that is, but I'm gonna skip over that because I'm not quite sure what that is. It's super small, so I think I'm just gonna skip over that. I mean, comment what the hell Pega Pump is, but I cannot find anything on Pega Pump, so I'm not quite sure what that is. Moving on though, on to the energy and focus complex. L-tyrosine, obviously been shown to work at about 1 gram, so 1.5 grams is okay. Alpha GPC, obviously also proven to improve focus, and at this dose it's a lot, so 800 milligrams. Usually it's 400 milligrams, so yeah, even if you take just one scoop, then you're set as well, so that does work. Also, usually alpha GPC used with the huperzine, so they also have huperzine here. Huperzine is kind of low here. You could definitely increase that a bit, but it does, at least it's in there, right? So alpha GPC with huperzine, that's okay. For Sant Energy, this one is also used for weight management, and again, you know my stance on that. Like, I don't see the point of weight management in a pre-workout, so that one I would probably say no. Theobromine is a stimulant for just energy and focus mostly, and at 300 milligrams, that is a lot. Obviously, usually you would probably see about 500 or like 100 milligrams, so this is a lot. And for theobromine, the studies kind of show that the more you use, the worse it kind of gets. I don't think it's worse with 300 milligrams, but if you're going like above even more, like maybe like 400 or like 500 milligrams, then it starts to kind of become not like, it's like diminishing returns. You know, it's not really, the more you take, the more you get. It kind of, you know, it, like, you know what I mean. Then moving into caffeine. Looking at the whole formula, caffeine here is very little compared, but it does work. So if you're taking 250 milligrams, it does work. Again, the range that I like to stay in is the 200 to like 600 milligrams of caffeine, and that should probably be fine. So that does work. And obviously also caffeine with L-theanine works together. So study done where people took only caffeine, people took only theanine, and people took both. And when they took them both, it kind of increased the performance even more. So L-theanine with caffeine works together. However, L-theanine here kind of on the lower side, so I would probably increase that a bit more. Then GABA, it has been found for, I suppose for calming, for its calming effect, and it has also been used in treatments for neurology, psychiatry, and anesthesia. So it does work for the calming effects. However, I think for performance specifically, I think there should be more studies on the GABA. So kind of mid. I mean, you can. I mean, if I'm looking at this formula, this formula that just literally just threw like a bunch of fucking shit together. And I mean, if you're gonna throw in something, you might as well throw in GABA. So yeah, sure. I can't blame them, to be honest. But L-theanine, yeah, we just did. More coffee. Let's see what that is. Again, cognitive performance. Improves cognitive performance. This one's 100 milligrams. Yeah, they do use that. This one, like, kind of increases your cognition, but, like, the way it does it is, like, it's, like, through some confusing ass ways. I think that one's also just a random kind of thing that they threw in, which has kind of been proven to work, but not really. And lastly is XR, which is kind of like dicaffeine malate. Just as they can see here, extended release of caffeine. So it just slowly releases caffeine as you work out, and does work. So actually in total, then it's the caffeine here is 250 plus 70. So 320 milligrams of caffeine. So that's okay. But god damn, oh my god, I'm fucking dying over here. This is a lot. So yeah, we're finally fucking done with the goddamn formula. Now that I think about it, I think the price is probably gonna be a bit more than this pre-workout right here, because this is a lot more. So you would probably expect this to be for this to be priced like even more, like maybe like $80 or something. But this is a lot of ingredients. So if you have the money for it, and if you have the fucking will to be taking 30-gram scoops before a workout, then this is a good option. I would have to put this pretty high. I would like put this somewhere here, because the price is still not that bad compared to the rest of the pre-workouts. Like, I'm pretty sure this price was similar to C4, which is absolutely garbage pre-workout. So the price is not that bad. Not that bad. It's not that bad. But yeah, if you have the money and you have the will to spend it, I wouldn't say it's better than Rect, because Rect is a pretty solid pre-workout as well. Plus, it's much cheaper than Dethroner here. But a pretty solid formula. Whew. Thank you, and see you in the next one.